Hi, folks. You're tuned into Business Today. I'm Sakshi Batra, and this is Markets Today. Everything that we discuss here will be all about the stock markets, how the day fared, and of course, it was an important day of trade, the first day of trade on the financial year 2023. So, this was an important one. Of course, we started off on a muted note, but the way the day has panned out to be an absolute great for both the benchmarks, Nifty and the Sensex. Also, talk about the other broader markets, mid and the small caps, and even the sectoral indices. All of them have managed to end in the green as well. So very, very good start to financial year 2023, and fingers crossed for all the investors who hope that this year should also be as rewarding as the previous 2 years as well. So we began the year with a lot of uncertain territory. Global major headwinds for equity markets were seen to be kind of pressurizing the Indian markets in the early trading action, but definitely we pulled off from there. The markets gained strength, the bulls came back on the street and claimed their ground as well. In fact, the benchmarks ended higher with the Nifty comfortably closing near 17,700. At close, the Sensex was up 708 points at 59,276 as well. In fact, the Nifty was up by 200 odd points too, over a percent gain for both the indices, 17,670. That's the closing level that we saw for the Nifty today. Now, about the market breadth, it was completely in favor of the bulls. You saw over 2560 shares in the advancing space, whereas just about 645 shares declined and 84 shares remained unchanged. Talk about some specific stocks as well. You had the likes of NTPC, BPCL, Power Grid Corporation, IndusInd Bank, and SBI as among the top gainers on the Nifty index. But on the other hand, you did have Hero Motocorp, SBI Life Insurance, Sun Pharma, even Tech Mahindra and Titan as the top laggards that could not participate in today's rally as well. Now, all the sectoral indices, they managed to end in the green. Of course, with the autos, banks, oil and gas, and even realty, power, and PSU banking index all up by 1 to 4 odd percent in today's trading session. Talk about the broader markets, the mid and the small cap shares. Of course, both of them also reflected the kinds of gains that we were seeing on the benchmarks, rose about 1% each as well. Now, specifically, we had the likes of BEL, that's Bharat Electronics, that rose by 2%. After the company received and achieved a turnover of about 15,000 odd crore rupees, both provisional and unaudited during the financial year 2022, as against 13,818 crore rupees of turnover that was seen last year. So early indications of the kind of financials and the robustness that you are seeing on the revenue front for BEL. NCC shares gained about 11% in trade today after the company received one new order of 323 odd crore rupees that is exclusive of GST in the month of March 2022. Now, this order pertains to the buildings division as well. Ujjivan Small Finance Bank also had shares rise by 9 odd percent today as CARE Ratings reaffirmed the CARE A plus rating and stable rating on the long-term bank facilities as well. Bank of Baroda, another stock that rose by 4% as the bank completed the acquisition of 21% stake of Union Bank of India too. So the banking consolidation really taking shape right there. Spice Jet added 5%, and that is despite the early morning shocker of ATF prices rising by 2 odd percent in today's trading session. So the stock rose by 5 odd percent. The company's officials said that salaries of captains will be increased by a minimum 10%. So good news finally coming in after 2 years of pandemic and the kind of turbulence that the entire aviation space has been facing. Ashok Leyland, another stock from the auto category, gained by 1.5% as the company in the month of March 2022 got a sharp growth of 17% in terms of the units sold. Also, Tech Mahindra shares ended in the red after M. Damodaran retired as an independent director of the company with effect from March 31st. Ruchi Soya Industries, however, fell by 2% after the company fixed the issue price of its FPO. The board had at its meeting approved the issue price of 650 rupees per equity share of the FPO. Of course, we spoke to a whole host of experts to understand how did they gauge the mood on the first day of the financial year and how do they see as the outlook on the markets going forward from here too. So Shrikant Chauhan mentioned that Indian equity markets have definitely given positive returns this week. Globally as well, equity markets have remained broadly resilient. That is led by the optimism on the progress of the Russia-Ukraine negotiations. Of course, on the other hand, we did see commodities seeing some correction after the recent highs. That also supported and aided the investors' sentiment. In India, markets saw broad-based gains with most sectors giving positive returns as well this week. He also believes that crude oil prices have corrected, and that is something to be cheered about in the recent time as well. Other highlights from the trade included HAL bagging 15 light combat helicopters for 3887 crore rupees. Steel strip wheels up 5% as sales revenue again crossed about 350 crore rupees for the very first time. Of course, there was news from the cryptocurrency world as well. Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Shiba Inu fall up to 10%, and that's a complete contrast to the stock market up move that we've seen today. Also, as we begin the new financial year, experts believe that there will be some headwinds that the markets will have to deal with. Of course, the hawkishness of the stance on interest rates by the US Central Bank, US Fed, and apart from that, declining liquidity and the removal of liquidity from most of the financial services industries as well across the globe, that is. Apart from that, they also believe that FY23 could actually bring in better prospects for some sectors of the stock markets, including financials, IT, telecom, capital goods, and pharma. They all look good. FMCG, cement, and autos, however, are likely to face margin pressures because of the rise in the input costs over the recent times as well. Crude at $104 a barrel is definitely a short term positive, as experts do point out. Of course, we also mentioned that India volatility also reduced today. The India VIX indicated a 8% downtick today at below 19 levels. So that also supported the sentiments on day one of the financial year. But as I spoke to also Gurmeet Chadha, who's the co-founder of Complete Circle Investments, and he shared with me, going forward from here, it's going to be the digital transformations as a theme that is going to be extremely positive to look at. Do catch up highlights of that interview on our YouTube channel and on Facebook as well, as he shares the key themes, the sectors that he's bullish on for FY23, and also the stocks that he's betting on for a SIP stocks category as well. So do stay tuned on to Business Today. Thanks a lot for tuning in for now. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel.